So just honoring that in the best ways that we could. It's a temple and also a vehicle. So it's like kind of how we hop in our car and go to our destination. The soul just hops in the body to go to destination. So proper maintenance of this vehicle. I'm going to talk about different practices we're going to put into effect this week. Because Sunday service, instead of it being like the lecture, like at church, it ain't like church no more. It's actual practices that we put in motion this week. Like, how can I best maintain my body with my practices this week? As far as the food we put together, our morning rituals, maybe an exercise routine. But let's start off with a discussion of, just a free discussion on how we can best do maintenance on our bodies this week.
Hi, sir. I would like to be more intentional with my intake as far as food. Like I know that I'm plant based and all of that stuff, but I particularly with my digestive supposed to be on a mono day, so I want to kind of try to practice that more. Just like really simplifying my intake to just one ingredient and just allowing it to rest, my digestive system to rest. And so I'm fasting today and honoring that call to come this morning often because it does come. And sometimes I just ignore it and still eat instead of just like not. And I think that's really important because the way I digest food, I also digest information. So I want to make sure that I'm taking my time and focusing on one thing at a time as well. So that's going to be my practice for this week.
And you said less items per meal, so is that like less per meal? Is that per day? Or just per meal, one item?
Mono meals. Just like, and I know honestly, mono mealing is really extreme, but even just like simplifying it, like one thing at a time, like just one ingredient, even if it's more than one thing in the meal, just one ingredient like potatoes, and then just
because it takes the body more energy to break down the more components you add.
Exactly.
Like if I do mono milling, I usually go for the melons because you can eat those all day.
Yeah.
You know, just buy a watermelon and just eat that all day.
Yeah, I think grapefruit is a good one for me. It's something I keep eating like a lot of. So probably just get a bag of grapefruit and just simplify it.
I like that. I think I'll do that once a week myself.
Yeah, it makes sense. Body is less work to digest, gets used to digesting something. It's kind of like an assembly line process in a sense. Like, okay, we're doing this one thing that instead of like different stuff, so much different stuff coming into the system, the body got to digest all these different types of foods. But yeah, I can see this how less work a practice like that could be.
When I did my teacher's training, we had to fast one day out the week every week, or I think it was like 12 weeks. It's a 3-month course. But the day after fasting, we did like mono meals, and we gradually, went back into having maybe about 5 or 6 different things to eat a day before going back into that fast. It was very helpful.
Yeah.
So who agrees to fasting one day a week as a group activity?
I'm down for it.
One for it. How you feel, Michael?
You already
talked about it.
Everybody sauce?
Yeah.
How you feel about that sauce?
So.
And when I say how you feel about it, like, is it something you're willing to look at this present week?
My name is
And then I
Tuesday
used to
too.
meditate on Tuesday, like make that like a
Get out of my head,
clearing
Mahogany.
thing.
Get out of my life.
There's no pressure. It could be how you feel
No,
too
it
at the
ain't.
time, but I'm just thinking of us selecting a day to make it.
No, I'm definitely down for it. Sundays work for sure.
But it's like a year.
In my my monthly journal for my physicality, which involves my health, one of my practices was to fast every other Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I was like gonna start it off.
Mm.
So every other Sunday fast, and then do it like a weekly fast. Cause I know for me, I gotta like ease into things.
Mm-hmm.
Cause last time I went extreme, like when I had said that I was gonna go like vegan, actually went planetarian. I mean not fruitarian first,
Mm.
and it was just an extreme. I was like, wean off of some things.
I did
You
the
know what I'm
same
saying?
thing.
Let me wean off of some things. So I can definitely participate with you for sure. I was already planning on doing 2 out of the 4. So yeah, whatever day it is, y'all decide on that.
Anybody eat yet today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't want to commit to Sundays every week just because Sunday is it's like a restorative, nurturing day. So I would probably do like a broth or something on Sundays and maybe fast on Monday or Tuesday.
How about a fast at 4 o'clock on Sundays?
Oh, I could do that with no problem.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whenever it's at the intermediate fast. Even if it's just the beginning part of the day, you hop into your meditative practices. I don't think it necessarily gotta be all day fast all the time. Like,
Shit, I'm
and
almost
whether
there.
it's a fruit fast, yeah, exactly. We almost there. Like, ain't nobody eating nothing yet. We tapped in, a little tea. So Sundays fast until 5 p.m. and then like a smooth dinner.
Soft, gentle dinner.
Soft,
Like
gentle.
a soup or something.
Soups, fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Fruits for dinner. Because another thing in Ayurveda and a lot of sciences, eating at nighttime turns into toxins in your system. So if I eat something and I go to bed on that, for one, my body's working at nighttime to try to digest food when it could be doing other things in different realms and just sending that energy to other places. So not eating before bed is another thing that we could gently increase around here. Because I know sometimes we catch the munchies, sometimes those desires have strong forces working with them to call you to that food. But conquering, I feel like it's a wise desire to conquer as far as just not eating at least 3 hours before when I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing that anyway.
Everybody's supposed to be doing that anyway. It's kind of already a thing. So for this Sunday service, it's just taking a look at, okay, what's really serving my energy? And do I have the discipline to even make these weekly tasks? Like for this week type shit. Like, not just like, because if I really don't think I should be doing it, I don't got faith. This, I don't know, it's just like, aligning our faith with what's energizing me. Willpower. So not eating. So we're gonna fast on Sundays till 5 o'clock. We're gonna work to everybody agree not to eat within 3 hours of going to sleep. Maybe like definitely we could say at 9 o'clock just to get it slightly more concrete. 9:30, 10. Because sometimes people be up late, but definitely no meals after 9, 10ish.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, 9, 10ish is kind of wild. I know Perk be up midnight up to 4 a.m. sometimes, so that 3 hours could be a little bit different.
Do you be up at that time of night? Where you be at?
It depends. If we up, it's a little corner, so.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. That movie was kind of good. I seen that movie. You saw Nightcrawler? We ain't talking about that right now. Alright, so, 9, 10 o'clock last meals. And even like at dinner, they say like something more so like some fruit like that. If you at the 8, 9 o'clock limit, like some fruit, some
Right.
soup,
Like,
something that's not so
So,
heavy and that takes the system a long time to digest. Because as we go into like the astral realms, these different places we go when we sleep, like our energy is a thing. Like
mm,
I believe.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I guess I can go second.
Yeah.
Honoring the temple, the body. So I'm currently in a personal month of 7.
Mm.
So it's going to cause me to be more isolated and more tentative to self. So I may not be as engaging as I was the prior month, as I was going through the 6. So it was more about service to others and helping and
Mm.
just being that force. And now it's just time for me to kind of like draw back a little bit, tap in with the self, get back into my spiritual practices on a day-to-day basis. My rising routine, waking up, doing the meditation, doing the exercise with the yoga and things of that nature. So those would be the things I'll be focusing on.
Mm.
Okay. So you said rising routine.
Mm-hmm.
Any particular rising routine you mind sharing that you
So
you practicing?
rising, as soon as I wake up, I give thanks, gratitude. I write down any dreams that I may have had. After that, I get into a meditation, do like 15-minute meditation. After the meditation, I stretch my body. I look at one of our school joints, whatever chakra it is for the day. I do a 10-minute exercise.
Mm.
And then I do my hygiene and stuff like that.
You said then you do what?
My hygiene. Prior to that, I do my push-ups. So I do 50 in the rise and 50 at night. Push-ups, sit-ups.
Okay. 50 push-ups, morning routine. Is that something you want to adopt as a collect? So you do this morning routine before you touch your cell phone, or
Before the sit-up.
all of that, even all the way down to the shower?
Yeah.
Didn't touch the cell phone at all the way to the shower?
All the way to the shower. All the way to my hygiene. After I brush my teeth and stuff.
Mm.
Okay. That's good discipline for sure. Because I feel like even in the morning time, the cell phone has a lot of attraction, like to check the notification, even check and see what time it is. Like, once you check and see what time it is, you could go into a whole attention. It's just where your attention goes, your energy goes. So taking that attention outside of self, I feel like that's a divine practice too. The morning rituals, morning routine before touching the cell phone.
What helps me is not having my phone in me.
Me too.
Okay, so the phone's in another room. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yes, yeah.
Let
Anybody?
the body know
Yeah,
the
like
time of the day.
literally, like if you tell your body this is the time I'm gonna wake up, like it's gonna wake up.
It's clockwork. I've
That
been
shit
doing
like
it 6
clockwork.
o'clock. It's like, oh, it's 6 a.m. I know what
I
I can
said,
do.
damn, the body is cold.
I've experienced that too, like saying I always wake up at this time and actually my body waking up at that time. Whether I press the snooze or not, like that's another thing, but you will wake up at that time, like for sure.
But that's why I like physical clocks. Like, get a wall clock if you need to check in. You know, devices, technology in your hand. I don't even like the way it feels in the morning. You know, I feel very supple, very fresh, very new, and I don't want to plug into that as soon as I rise.
Alright, so everybody gonna
say for me,
Don't gotta be the same.
yeah, because I feel like honoring our design is very important. I'm not trying to move when I wake up. Like, I'm not getting out the bed. I'm not trying to talk to nobody. I'm just like slowly going to get into what I feel in the rising. I like to do a big movements, like working on my core, stretching. I like to do a body scan, do my Reiki for the day, and then engage. Like, I have to sit and remember my dreams. I do like to do voice messages for my dreams, so I do tap it. Like, I have to pick up my phone to do that because I can't really write it down. It's better for me to speak them. So that'll be mine.
You going through a 5 too, so it's not really really strict on you to be like conform
Yeah.
or structured.
It still sounds like a routine though, for sure. Even though it's different, it's definitely a routine.
Yeah.
So like, even though those voice memos normally come before or after, like after the stillness, then a little meditation or so. And so I feel like even if it's a 15-minute like time just to go into yourself in the morning, however that be, just working not to take your attention outside of self.
Right.
And the cell phone in another room is definitely a great practice. Until you do those recordings for sure. So morning routine. Alright, so far we're doing a weekly fast. On Sundays we could fast until like 5 p.m. Focus on the energy within. We ain't really pick a day to do another fast. If y'all want, I'm open to it. But I feel like the Sunday one, just for it to be a consistent thing, is cool. And everybody can do what they please, for real, for real. Definitely Sundays until 5 p.m. So we easing into these things. No late night eating. Morning routine. Anything else as far as maintenance of the body? Something, any personal practices? Maybe we'll adopt some of those personal practices as a group.
Also, just being mindful that it is eclipse season. The word eclipse means abandon. So it's like the sun is abandoning the moon. So it's a time of like big shifts. So like setting intentions and stuff like this around this time. We can set an intention for something and then it'll get flipped on his ass tomorrow. So just being mindful of what's coming up and how it's presenting itself and making way for you to potentially change your course of direction and whatever it may be, whether it's your rising routine, whether it's a goal that you have set for yourself, just know that it can shift during this time. So just being mindful of it. Because even like for me, I just got some wild, vivid dreams, like very vivid. I got some telepathic communication from my father in my dream last night, and it's going down. It's a war. It's spiritual warfare right now, but spiritual warfare that causes the shift that's needed. So it's all in divine alignment. But we see it in everything that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we see it everywhere, even in the media with the rappers and Glorilla and JT and all these other people. Like it's war, but the war is causing the shift. So like even us being here right now in this space right now and being mindful of our temple and having camaraderie is very important.
I believe the war is the soul's attachment to the body. And it's definitely always happening as your enemies in body form. And just rising above And that's also what these practices are for. So I think that some of these things aren't necessarily wavering from week to week as far as not eating before bed, because this enhances those telepathic communications and everything. So I do want to get things that aren't fluctuating, like not like this was the vision today. Oh, I switched it tomorrow. I'm gonna eat at night today. So these things, I know definitely a lot of things, but a month it could be fluctuating. But these things, as far as the morning routine, we can keep it in real life, but these not really fluctuating.
Yeah, the not eating, that's just like a discipline that we all can definitely adhere to, for sure.
Yeah, herbally enhanced meals throughout the week. Being aware of just what we taking in herbally. How can we do a couple, and when you gonna do a meal, you could definitely have some herb. We always got herbally infused food anyway. So teas throughout the week, just an idea. Nothing we putting on the list, but definitely keeping like our herbs in mind as far as the tea that we making, the food that we making, and everything really. And that's just something to keep in mind. Proper maintenance. Yeah, I wake up and work on hopping straight into my meditations. Sometimes that's sitting still in the bed for sure, but definitely that relaxation. And my meditation is actually a sitting straight spine meditation, so definitely hitting at least a cool 15 minutes before like doing like phone or electronics type stuff. Because you mentioned how even the technology represents different deities and whatnot. Like, so definitely making time for those that inner space. And then, even though all the deities are a manifestation of a one, so everything gets a certain amount of love and attention.
Moderation.
Yeah, moderation, prioritizing the inner world. So definitely I do 15-minute meditation and breath work, pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. It's really smooth. And it's just a personal practice. Everybody got their own, but not a suggestion, but just mine.
Yeah,
Not mine. No.
giving honor to you for the reflection that you represent. Or I definitely can say for myself, you always serve as a reminder, of the one. You always serve as a reminder that all is well, everything is working. And I will say that even the practices you introduced me to, Kriya Yoga, the meditation, and that's what even started my 3 month like discipline routine of having a rising ritual with the 15-minute meditation, with the exercise and everything to that nature. I incorporated that when you brought those things to my awareness. So I always grateful for the reminders. For sure.
Yeah. Because if it is spiritual work, we have fun. We like Lord of the Rings. We well practice, but we enjoy it. It's actually a fun practice. Like on Lord of the Rings, they counting, they dropping shit, counting that shit, having fun, flying around, all types of fun. So we will practice, and so this even in the time of, they say like Kali Yuga or spiritual warfare, it's a time of joy and fun and adventure, and the ability to actually use these different tools that we've been practicing. It's not like, oh, now I gotta use this stuff I've been practicing, it's a bad day. No, it ain't like that. It's like, bet. This shit showing up, ignorance is heavy in the society. I'm on some warrior shit. I was born to be warrior shit. I fucking love this shit. I'm having a great time doing it. That's the mindset for it. Because sometimes you can get frustrated by those ignorant people or those ignorant situations or those ignorant states of mind. And if we live in the stage of Kali Yuga, you the fool if you're gonna be irritated by these things and you know the times that we living in. Like it's exactly how it needs to be for us to practice these different things that we're working on. So give thanks for the perfect time. Living in the perfect moment. Present moment.
Yeah. And it all comes from a Western idea of the darkness or black or what would be considered bad. That's the indoctrination that we are uh, lifting from ourselves when we go into practices like these. Is to honor the unknown and to know that from the darkness comes the light. And from the darkness comes everything. So just strengthening our journey through the shadows, through those unconscious parts of ourselves that may arise during this time, and to treat them with honor, peace, and harmony. Because when we look these things in the face, no matter what it may be, whether it's a habit, whether it's a duty, whether it's accountability on our behalf, it's all to strengthen our toolbox, to present more resources, and to present a bountiful spring that we're in, a plentiful spring that we're in. So, you gotta pick the weeds, so we're picking the weeds right now.
Pick the weeds in the garden and plant the seeds. The weeds take away from the beautiful seeds that we intentionally plant. I feel it. And you saying you gotta cut back the energy from going to the dead stuff, huh? That's what Keisha said. Yeah.
You gotta get out there and get in the yard, bro.
Too much energy going to dead stuff. What's dead? Yeah. So what's dead, man? What ain't no more energy going to? Cause that's dead. I ain't gotta talk about that, but just to be aware.
I need to talk about it to release it. For sure.
Oh yeah, whoever already know what it is, just let it go. But we're gonna go into the chakras. We already know about the chakras, but we just do some refreshing on the chakras in this next part of Sunday service.
Mahogany and Perkins, way back and forth, they did the whole chakras. Right before the count.
We could read paragraph, but the chakras. And so the chakra system is a popular field of study for many yoga practitioners. The diagram of rainbow-colored lotuses sending up the spine is almost synonymous with yoga culture. Due to the abstract nature of the chakras, the subject is shrouded by much confusion and misinformation. Perhaps you have heard of a reference to a healer offering to tune up your chakras. Others propose that you need to remove blockages in a certain chakra. Some students have expressed despair when someone tells them they have lost a chakra, or it is spinning backwards. These are but some examples of misunderstanding of the chakras that people are dealing with as we try to understand this abstract concept. The chakra system lies within the astral body and is part of the pranayama kosha, or energy system. The chakras can be described as energy centers in the astral body, through which the nadis pass on their way to the rest of the body. There are 72,000 nadis in the pranayama kosha, which translate to the nervous system and the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
The energy, prana, or life force, circulates throughout the body through these channels. There are 7 main chakras in the astral body. Muladhara, let me know if my pronunciation off on some of these, I forget. Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna, and Sahasrara. In our exploration of the chakras, we will present Bindu, a subtle chakra. This is not often explained or given much consideration, but is important to the student of Hatha Yoga. So, but first we just go into a description of these chakras. And I'll read the first paragraph, somebody can read the second one, somebody can read the third one, and we go into the next part. So starting off with location of the chakras. Although the chakras are not located within the physical body, they have a corresponding location to the physical body. Each chakra is situated around the spinal cord in different parts of the spine. Many diagrams of the chakras show a person sitting facing you, with the chakras superimposed on their body. This may be misleading, showing you that the chakras are in the front of the belly or heart, when really they lie along the spinal column within the pranayama kosha of the astral body. And it's a description here, but Muladhara chakra. Muladhara chakra is the first energy center situated at the point of the perineum muscle or between the anus and genitals. This chakra is characterized by the nature of survival. Throughout your billions of previous incarnations, moving through the mineral, plant, and animal kingdoms, the desire to survive has been reinforced over and over again. The lower species spend most of their lives struggling to provide for their basic needs. Transiting into the human species, this tendency to survive is the most predominant in our nature. We will have that need to survive, and we still have that need to survive, and the majority of humans are still struggling to meet their basic needs: food, shelter, water. Second paragraph right here.
But once these essential needs are satisfied, this tendency to acquire continues. A person uses their human intellect to become more efficient at acquiring and hoarding until they find they have more than what they need. This is not the case in the animal or plant kingdoms. An animal will eat until they are satisfied, but will stop when they have eaten enough. They will often abandon their food for other creatures to eat. Humans, on the other hand, will struggle tirelessly to attain their basic needs, but then creatively continue to use their energy and intelligence to acquire more and more, leading to greed, selfishness, envy, jealousy, hatred, and fear that they could lose it all.
How much food, water, and shelter do we actually need before we're over-consuming and just wasting our energy for and what's not needed?
Minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where a lot of us are at. A lot of us are right here in the root chakra. Is either overly attentive, or we need more, less attention towards it. Yeah, man, no survival instincts. Just just the root chakra, it causes greed.
Is this the root wheel? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it causes greed. It causes defining over resources. That's why I feel like the house rule, not consuming, only consuming the fresh air is pivotal. Not just here, but in the world period.
When a person decides that they have had enough to meet their needs, they do not spend the rest of their time ordering throughout life. They start to wonder if there is something else more if they do order. They wonder about their goals. Because they are exposed to nothing of any higher. They acquire the wealth through their higher goals. However, when you start to question this and wonder if you are wasting your life, your interest moves in other direction. Pleasure, reciprocity.
Hold on, where you started?
Right here.
Ah, similar pleasure. Okay. Ah, I don't see it.
Right here. The direction of pleasure.
Ah, pleasure represented by the Swatchana chakra, or the sacral. Let me just say the sacral because I
That
can.
works. The sacral. Sacral chakra.
The sacral chakra is located at the base of the spine or the tailbone, and is often referred to as the sexual center. It can be thought of as the center of pleasure. After a person has everything they need to survive, they start to become more particular. They crave scrumptious foods, pleasant surroundings, a nicer car, luxurious furniture. The list goes on and on.
A little bit like a little bit.
When a person is existing within this chakra, their highest goal in life is to have as much pleasure as possible because they equate pleasure with happiness. However, we know by now in our study of yoga that indulging in pleasure only leads to addiction, dissipation of energy, and eventually to pain. Most people are in the constant pursuit of pleasure because they think that it will make them more happy. They are involved in all kinds of activities that they think will satisfy them and increase their happiness. In the process of doing that, using all of their resources to get more and more pleasure. They are developing more bondage, weakening the system, draining their prana, their energy, and their mental power. Let me clarify to remind you that pleasure is not bad. It is natural and beneficial to enjoy life, to enjoy the food that you eat and your surroundings. But when you constantly stimulate the senses and make this as your only goal and purpose in life, this is what leads to problems in your life. It is the same with materialism. It is important to provide your basic needs, to have enough food to eat, shelter for you and your family, but to know when enough is enough is critical.
I have to monitor that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's the one though, for real. Because once you feeling good meditating, it's like that pleasure be the second thing to conquer. Once you out of survival mode, it's like, okay, I got my food, water, shelter. And then the pleasure part is a much more attractive force than that first one in a sense. Like, we're really depending on where you at, I guess. But definitely getting over the pleasure and just needing more pleasure. That's definitely something to be aware of as we are.
And in my book, Matrix Dropout, which is like 2 sentences, I wrote about the journey from the root to the actual sacred. And it says,
You have all this on your phone?
so it says, when you surround yourself with people who build you up and give you knowledge yourself, you can just be. Just being allows you to flow, which brings us to the next chakra, which is our sacral chakra. The sacral chakra has to deal with our emotional self on our electromagnetic spectrum. This is where our radio waves become more visible. We go from gas to a liquid. This is why water signs are very emotional. This chakra enables your creativity. And like as a water sign, like I definitely gotta deal with pleasure. Like on a whole nother level. You feel me? Because it's like where I find the most joy and where I find the most happiness. So yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the scriptures, yo, like the saints and the sages, like in a lot of the Indian scriptures, whenever like the demonic forces get jealous of this person rising, they send a prostitute at like whatever the thing is to just try to get you back into that pleasure sense. Like there's so many other scriptures where they just send prostitutes to trick people off of their energy practices and their blissfulness and them believing that
she'll come through.
Mm.
You feel me? The Jezebel will come through.
yeah.
The succubus will come through.
The stuff you basically
And if you're a servant to that pleasure, if your happiness is in that pleasure, like it could show up as a full, like everything pleasure, and how you abandon a lot of the things that are actually serving your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So just being aware, if we are in spiritual warfare, we gotta be aware of the weapons that we up against, in a sense, like to have fun with this and not become entranced in it or caught up in it.
Even when you was just like, dang, stop you been smoking. I had to be mindful of it. Like, damn, I have been smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's even with the food.
Definitely
Like,
with the food.
even when we're eating healthy and all of that, it starts just becoming just a pleasure to just eat, just consume, just stimulate ourselves.
So I got a question for everybody. Where's the balance in that, right? Because like when I be eating this food, I don't never get full, so I stay hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's when it's telling you that you're not really eating for the nutrient base. So that's why I'm being called to like just fast, just take a break, because you're not really hungry. You literally just ate. You literally just ate.
Fasting is a good solution to that, because eating breaking your fast and then eating like I guess like family style or feast style would minimize you just getting all your nutrients at one time, instead of just snacking here, drinking here, eating here, and then coming back over and over again just because you see something.
I think
At the same time, I feel like it happens person to person, because some people do need to snack. Some people do need to only eat one thing multiple times throughout the day, versus another person that just needs to eat all in one time and needs to fast for them all throughout the day. So I just think it's just all based on your design, and being mindful of that. You may want to try possibly eating a fuller meal one time a day after versus which you have been pursuing the pleasures of just constantly eating, just snacking, just the stimulation of hand to mouth, like that's even a stimulant almost.
It's a dopamine for sure.
Yeah, I think I was being a little subconscious about it yesterday, because I was eating and I could just keep eating, but I feel like it was food that I needed because earlier. So I just.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's probably you are not getting the nutrition that you need. So I would like look into eating for your blood type.
Absolutely.
Even in Ayurveda, you eat according to your doshas. So like even like it's a lot of different ways to sort of break down into it, but just going into your question of how do I know when it's not even necessarily being hungry, but when am I nutritionally pleased, in a sense. Like I feel like for me it's like, okay, I'm not eating past 9 o'clock. If I'm eating past 9, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, then it's just like on some more so greedy type shit. It's like more so in those times for me, like if it's late, super late, if it's my early meal, if I want to work out earlier in the day, I could do a little bit more for real, for real. But if it's at nighttime and I just got the munchies and I'm hungry as fuck, but choose my pleasure as far as like what's the most pleasurable meal, and then it's the thing of okay, what's the most pleasurable meal versus what's the most energetically optimizing meal, and I feel like the ability to choose what's the most energetically optimizing beyond like okay, I'm hungry, yeah, I'm hungry, but just having that balance, I feel like kind of clears up the question or the circumstance you find yourself in where
Yeah, I mean, then like the way you move sauce, like you probably do need like multiple meals or snacks a day, because you be going. But always go back to like, is this nourishing you?
Because you're not a generator, so you really ain't supposed to be going like that all day. So that's the thing. When you know, and you just gotta get back to your design. Like,
Do you know your blood type?
It's a good question.
You ain't gotta say it on camera.
Cause I'm gonna smash some food for sure, for sure. But I ain't necessarily got to do smashing it at nighttime before I'm about to go to sleep, which I might catch the munchies in. In the past, I might have done that. But and then like, is this food making me happy or am I already happy? Like sometimes you need a certain thing to feel happy. I feel like if you need something to feel happy, then that's like being a servant to the pleasure to like and knowing like okay, but definitely serving your body as a temple because the vehicle needs fuel in a sense as long until we become full breatharian, pranatarian, it's still a fuel and having like that premium fuel opposed to like that quick easy 87 grade fuel that might be cheaper, that might be a little more convenient sometimes, but definitely premium fuel. Feel like premium fuel inside the body is a good practice.
alright. Manicure chakra. When you have obtained all of your material desires, when you have indulged in all of the pleasure, what do you crave next? Power. The next center that comes in line is the Manipura chakra, or the fire center. This chakra is located in line with the navel, projected back in the center of the spine. This is the state of consciousness that people reach when they no longer feel fulfilled by acquiring wealth and possessions. When they have experienced everything that pleasure can offer them, they seek power. You see this in many leaders and rulers who have amassed so much in life but are still not satisfied. This center is characterized by greed, anger, fear, and lust for more and more power, which can never be fulfilled. Even after dominating every country on the earth, a person who desires power will not stop there. They will continue to dominate until they rule the planets, the stars, under the earth, but really there is no limit to the extent of power a person desires. The majority of humanity exists on these three lower chakras, Malahadra, Maladhara, striving for material gains, Swadhisthana, seeking pleasure, Manipura, seeking power. These three lower chakras are still only of the animal nature. To rise above this, you have to ask questions like, is this all there is to life? Do I have enough? There must be a greater purpose for my existence. Having used all of your wealth for pleasure, sex, drinking, you realize that you still do not find happiness there. When you have a surplus of money, an overabundance of pleasure, and excess of power, you do not realize that real power comes from gaining control over your mind, instead of wanting to control everything and everybody. To purify on that level, you have to contemplate, ask yourself, there must be something more. On this level, you wake up to that understanding that nothing goes with you and nothing belongs to you. Until that, you continue wanting to dominate the whole world, not just one or two people. In the process of doing that, you amass billions of dollars, which is only a reflection of your greed and selfishness. This leads to hatred and jealousy. What is all of that doing for you? It is only degrading your consciousness. When you are reborn, you will not be reborn as an enlightened being. You will be reborn as a demonic person. You continue degrading yourself, making more money, dominating the world, but does that free you? It keeps you in more bondage until you hear something, that there must be a higher goal and purpose in life. You might wake up and start to seek higher knowledge. If you do not wake up, you will continue in that degrading state until you become a demon. If you want to purify yourself, you have the opportunity. You have to contemplate, nothing will go with me. You begin to relate to your material acquisition and power as a blessing, and you start to use it for the benefit of humanity. You start to become more generous, charitable, helpful. Only when a person realizes there is more to life than possessions, pleasure, and power is when they will start to express human tendencies and emotions, which are love, kindness, patience, compassion, tolerance. This is represented by the Anahadra chakra. This is really funny that this one landed on me because the solar plexus was actually the first chakra that introduced me into my spiritual awakening. Like, it was the first one I started working with. I learned that it was in correlation with Virgo. I learned that it was also the intestine, and yes, Tuesday as well. And it's basically connected to our digestive system, and the liver, which is the filter of the body. It purifies the things that we're digesting, and I think that it's very important because that is why I do Treat Your Simple Tuesdays, to focus on the solar plexus chakra, because as a whole, I feel collectively, like this is saying, that a lot of people are stuck in the lower chakras, and in order to really rise above them, you have to be able to filter out and ask those questions. And at the time, I was asking myself those questions because I was going through a lot of health issues that started in my digestive system, and I was drinking a lot and just really over consuming a lot of pleasures, and it just was like, this is just ain't doing it. Like, this is not doing it. What can I do? And yeah, I think that that's a really great practice. So even with us starting today and just being like, what is working, what is not, what can we let go of, what can we release? It's really us collectively pushing forward into that more centered heart space and allowing ourselves to be elevated and enlightened to a point that we can be of service to the collective, to humanity, even with just simple practices, a rising ritual or a fast that we're doing for ourselves, but it's also, really for more than us.
Facts.
Yeah, and I also
That's everything.
What
now you go
chakra
to
is
the
today?
next
Oh, I'm sorry.
Today is crap.
before we get on
I was going to ask you to break down today,
yeah, so
but I don't want to interrupt your thought.
Yeah, it's another.
Okay.
So just like what she was saying, like the introduction into the chakras, for me, it came with the heart chakra. But I feel like these chakras are levels in the game between this God game between here on earth, and like the root is like 0 to 7. It's like the things that we are taught, the things that are played over and over and over in our subconscious, the environment that we're raised in. And a lot of those things dictate how our lives play out. Because a lot of us just are in the same spaces that we were raised in. So we never even got out of that fundamental understanding or that hog pen mentality for, like, I know for me, it took for me to actually go into my sacred, which was my creativity, which was diving into what made me happy, it was my way of creating out of whatever environment that I was placed in. It was my happy place. That I could create an illusion in my mind. But the illusion in my mind wasn't enough. I needed to be able to see it outside of my mind's eye. I had to enable a sense of will to be able to bring those things to existence. So with engaging in that willpower, I seen a lot of success. A lot of success that enabled me to travel the country because of it. And it wasn't until I got out of that comfort zone and that space of just even being in the South and going to the West Coast and stuff like that. It literally opened me up. It opened my mind up. It opened my body, my soul, and just like they said, you start to go into spiritual practices because, like, man, I had a dream of becoming the best rapper in Memphis. I just call myself the Brim, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And in 2016, this shit came to fruition. Like, you know, Get Out, Money Bag, Black Youngster, Video Lil Kimmy, all the people that was doing that thing at the Hip Hop Awards. And it was not fulfilling. I still wasn't fulfilled. It was still like, what's next? What's more? And then I naturally just started to gravitate to certain foods. And by gravitating to them certain foods, it made me look into why am I even doing this? You feel what I'm saying? And that's what introduced me to the chakras. I was gravitating to the green foods. Just eat a lot of asparagus for sure, but other green leafy foods too. So.
Yeah, sounds magical. Yeah, and that's sweet, like, just even to diagnose ourselves. Like, you could just look at some of these chakras and see, like, oh, am I in a state of pleasure? Am I in a state of thinking I'm having enough food, water, shelter? Am I in, like, what state am I in? And that's really what's causing any sickness in your life, in a sense, like, as far as a general place. Because your energy not flowing, or your energy is not being optimized by flowing through all the channels of the body. So
that's the basis of the 7-day matrix dropout cleanse, to allow yourself to assess where are you. So each day you're spotlighting one of those energy centers and seeing, is it balanced, is it not? Are you in that space of over pleasure, or are you connected to the all? So today is Sunday, which is connected to the crown chakra, and we're here on Sunday service talking about fasting and cleansing and our spirituality and assessing ourselves and, like, really connecting to the oneness that we are. And that's what the day is for. So for the rest of this week, I don't know if you got the matrix dropout cleanse. I put it in the I'll resend it to the group chat.
I don't think I was in it.
Right, I'll resend it. So just throughout the week, every day is dedicated to a chakra so that you can assist them and get connected with that energy. So
So yeah, this is really powerful to be going over it today because that's what the whole thing is about, our connectedness.
Are they in order?
Okay, definitely. So noticing our desires, because our desires are clear indicators of just where it is. Like, what do I really need? What do I really want? What I'm about to put my willpower into. Those are a lot of times our desires. So just being conscious of those. Anahata, Anahata chakra. So Anahata chakra is often referred to as the heart center. When projected back to the spine, this is the location of the Anahata chakra. As you continue to become more generous, forgiving, serviceful, you start to experience glimpses of your fourth level. When you are still immersed in the lower chakras, your concept of love is expressed as business and bargaining, which leads to suffering and bondage. When you start to awaken the Anahata chakra, your love is based on giving, and giving, without waiting for a thank you. You know that you are evolving in this process of life. You start to feel freedom and expansiveness. Few people in this world have become established in the Anahata chakra. They can be referred to as saints, who live their lives for the sake of helping humanity. Such people as Sister Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, and others, they no longer feel the pull of materialism, of seeking pleasure, of dominating others, and their life's work is compelled by love, generosity, kindness, compassion. From time to time, you may feel these sentiments, but how long does it last before your lower nature takes over? Someone who is established in Anahata chakra, their consciousness has risen to this point and dwells there, no longer conflicted or pulled down toward the lower animal chakras. Most paragraph. So I might as well finish this one. Yet still, the yantra, or visual representation of this chakra, for Anahata chakra, is the six-pointed triangle, or Star of David. The apex of triangle points upwards, representing ascension of consciousness toward the highest. The apex of the second triangle points downwards, suggesting the pull of the three lower chakras and lower nature. Even at this point, a person is not safe and must continually guard themselves from sliding back down. The Shuddhi chakra, throat chakra.
Before we go to the throat chakra,
Right.
Let's look at the heart. Because like even when we look into the restaurants, right, and we look into the fast food and where it's placed, it's normally placed within areas of, control to keep us within those lower three, which they say. Because you think about Burger King, what's the colors for Burger King? You think about McDonald's, what's the color for McDonald's? You know what I'm saying? It's all the lower chakras, right? So it's like these chakras, the colors play out universally because anytime we even see something healthy, a healthy spot is green. You know what I'm saying? So it's like connecting us to being balanced within those realms. Now I also would say there's no getting to the higher realms until you experience those lower realms and connect and create the equilibrium within yourself. Because a lot of times what happens is because one hasn't embodied the root or the cycle or the willpower from the solar plexus, and they come to a state of just being at peace and being at balance. But that balance doesn't come without the desire. It doesn't come without you engaging in your pleasures. It doesn't come without being grounded in some type of truth or understanding that can even get you to that fourth chakra. And I know a lot of times like the lower chakras get bad reps, but the lower chakras are there for a reason as well. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's just really understanding that we're traveling, we're always in motion and not being stuck in them. That's what true, yeah, being attached. I'm always in that space. I'm always like, yeah, we can definitely go get a burger sometimes. That's moderation. Moderation, always. We can't fast forever. Just stay in that higher space, So just learning moderation and honoring all of them. That's a part of the one. This is within us. All of these are within us.
Yeah. Definitely.
For sure.
Even in your devotional service to others, like being aware of where people are, whether they are here or there, this helps us in how we could best serve our communities. And you got to be aware of these things to even be of service to these things. So definitely, yeah, just not being attached to these pleasures and whatever it may be. You're not neglecting higher chakras to dwell in the lower chakras, or ignoring lower chakra to dwell in higher in a sense as well. But just finding balance. Balance for sure.
The oneness.
For oneness. Next one.
Person is established and then human nature.
Ready
The next
to
level.
speak up a little bit, just a little bit of stuff. Sorry, camera for here too.
The next level of consciousness that expresses is creativity. This is found in Visuddhi chakra, located in
Is it like the shooting?
Visuddhi.
Okay.
Now they don't, I don't know what to say that. The H's ain't really say it in
The shooting.
Visuddhi.
You supposed to put that on your song. Them joints.
I
You
thought,
supposed to
but
know
then
how to say it.
he switched it. I do. He switched it to mom.
No, you're supposed to put that on your thing.
It's still possible.
Let's do it.
Well, put it on there. That's not what it should be doing. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. What you putting on there? On the set.
This is found in Visuddhi chakra, located in line with the thyroid gland in the center of the spine. When this chakra is predominant, all that starts to express is poetry, music, and the arts. This is the seat of Saraswati, goddess of arts and knowledge. Whatever is expressed only inspires people to higher aspirations. Below that, you have gifted and talented people expressing poetry and music, but it is degrading, corrupting the atmosphere of the world. Visuddhi chakra is different. Everything that you express is only glorifying the divine. That eventually leads you to the sixth level, the state of intuition.
That's powerful because on one of her lives, she was talking about how certain leaders are picked based upon how well they can speak, but they're really actually speaking from a hurt place. where the other chakras aren't as balanced. So it's like being mindful of those that we put in those seats of self that are speaking to a population of people, and understanding the discernment on where there's balance and oneness, and where there's heartache, dis-ease, and imbalance is very important, for real. Cause that's why I said what I said about the other chakras having not only an understanding of them, but to have embodied them, to even get to the throat chakra. Because a lot of people are speaking from her place, and then there's a lot of people, sages and shamans, who are speaking from a higher space. And like for you, Yogi, you're someone who resonates with someone like me, Avon, Moo, white folks, Hispanics, Indians, whatever the case may be, just because of the fact of how rooted you are in your truth. You feel what I'm saying? And it allows you to be able to travel through these different dimensions, to be able to speak to people wherever they're at. And that's true ascension. You feel me? So it's like understanding that the experience of these things, right? And the experience of these things in a space where you feel empowered is very key. So being in an environment that roots you, and that roots you in your knowing of self, that's an environment that's conducive for your growth. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. So that's why, like, family is key. You feel me? And sometimes family has to be unrooted to be, you know, what we do, what we call in school, propagating. It got to be taken from one space to another space, because sometimes you outgrow that environment. You feel what I'm saying? And then even when it comes to like our sensualities and our creative center and stuff like that, a lot of people have great ideas. You know, ideas come in and out all the time. I know artists who all they do is create. You feel what I'm saying? But I haven't seen none of that shit. You feel me? So that's where the desire and the willpower comes in, to actually like ground that shit. And then once it's grounded, you can have an understanding for what it is that's truly fueling you, because you have other people giving you feedback. That's the as within, so without concept. The as within, so without concept allows you to see like a lot of people are afraid to fail, right? So this what like stagnates their willpower, right? But it's like once you take that leap of faith, literally on the other side is the understanding. So like for me, I'm shooting shots. I'm gonna keep shooting shots, because I'm gonna learn my form. I'm gonna learn, you know what I'm saying, what's my spots, you know what I'm saying? But I keep that repetition, you know, because it's not about the fail or the miss. It's about the lesson in it, you know. And the lesson a lot of times is the darkness. So the darkness is what creates that greenery, you know, because it's from that soil that we sprout up. But we have to be able to water those seeds, and watering those seeds comes from us being present on a day-to-day basis, doing what's needed to be done in order to accomplish a said thing, and be able to look back at it and say, oh, this was a success, and now I can communicate this success, which is that throat chakra, to the world. So yeah, that's what's coming up in my head.
What part of it did you need walk on?
She read the whole genre. Ajna chakra was shooting. After the Suti chakra comes Ajna chakra, sometimes referred to as the third eye or the seat of consciousness. In meditation, the instruction is to focus the mind at the point between the eyebrows. Yogi always be saying this. For beginners, this is sufficient advice to train the mind to focus at the third eye. More advanced practitioners can work towards visualizing the more precise location of Ajna chakra, which is the pineal gland. This is located at the lowest point of the brainstem. You can visualize this point by imagining a line that connects your ears through the center of your head and a second line that penetrates through the center of the eyebrows towards the middle of the skull. The point where these two lines intersect is the location of the pineal gland and Ajna chakra. This chakra is characterized by intuition, and a person who is established in Ajna chakra is in touch with knowledge of past, present, and future. It is different from the everyday uses of the word intuition, like a woman's intuition, and instead is a state of knowing reached by great rishis to become aware of universal truths and laws. At this point, you are in direct contact with the cosmic mind. Whatever you want to access from there, you just focus. In Raja Yoga, the term is called samyam, which is when you reach the state of concentration, dharana, meditation, dhyana, and samadhi simultaneously. Oh wow, okay. One example of this intuition that we can understand comes from the great scientist Einstein. For his entire life, he studied mathematics, physics, chemistry. He exhausted the available knowledge of the time and continued to probe into deeper levels of understanding. He expressed at one point his mind stopped, and what was revealed to him was the theory of relativity. I ain't gonna go to it. E equals mc squared. He said at that moment he realized that what he knew and understood was nothing but a grain of sand on the seashore of all the knowledge of the universe. Then he spent the rest of his life trying to explain this theory to the rest of humanity. You too can reach that intuitive state, but it's only through intense concentration, focus, and discipline that you can reach that level of consciousness. When you reach samadhi at Ajna chakra, there is still the experience of duality. The state of oneness is not reached until entering samadhi over and over again until you reach the highest state of samadhi. Nirvana kapa samadhi. Even when established in Ajna chakra, you must always keep your mind focused on the goal of liberation and not get caught up in the world of power, name, and fame. At this point, you may experience psychic powers and cities, and dwelling on these powers will only drag you back down to the lower levels. You should instead ignore these abilities and keep your mind focused on moksha, enlightenment. That was powerful. Yeah, it's powerful because I had a dream, man, and I had to write down my dream because like during eclipses it always be like crazy. So peep this, y'all. I was on planet Earth and I was talking to a girl who and which looked like a school setting, right? And her boyfriend and his friends approached me. So it looked like they was in some type of game, like West Coast game. So immediately some other guys came to my aid and warned me about them. And I somewhat neglected the help and figured out the reason with them because I went on them with old girl and I didn't feel like there was no threat. Anyways, I was wrong. One thing led to another. We in a whole lot of war, right? So the dream switched to me shifting to another planet. I ended up getting locked up on Earth and then sent to this off-grid location in space. Now, while here, I started to change drastically. I was part of some like science experiment along with other fugitives. And while on this compound, I ran back into the gang that I had started the war with on Earth, and we squared off once again. But this time, the fight was more like intergalactic, where the constraints of gravity weren't there. And this is when I realized I wasn't on Earth anymore. Somehow I end up in a science lab, and I'm asking this scientist, "Am I human?" And he says it's complicated. Somehow they did some gene splicing and shot me with some artificial intelligence that enhanced my mind and body. Now later in the dream, I supposedly win my freedom, right? In the Ajna, we were just talking about the liberation. Uh, and he hold on. Okay, yeah. Later in the dream, I supposedly win my freedom, but it's actually a setup to put me in the kill zone. They were just talking about those lower chakras, right? Getting me back into that space. So apparently there are some monsters that these scientists are warned against, and they were using us as guinea pigs to see if we could withstand them. And then my dad ends up coming to me through a portal to warn me, and he gives me an object that one scan would give me my true freedom. He told me he'd be waiting on me on the other side once I completed the mission. The mission was to go through the release process, fight off the monsters, and help the other fugitives escape. While escaping the compound, I was aided by like some Mexicans who dismantled this barbed wire fence that was meant to electrocute us, and we all jumped over it. Now after that, it was like an obstacle course to freedom. I could intuitively, right there, you're talking about the intuition, see my dad in the car miles ahead waiting on me, so I followed that path. Like, it wasn't like, it was like I was able to be outside of my body and watch myself and then see and telepathically communicate with my father.
At the location.
It was wild. So it's like with this, it's like it's bringing it all to a head. Like that's that pineal gland activation. That's the crystals enlightening the pineal gland and you reaching that certain state of consciousness that guides you. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
When you were reading it, the part that came to me, something about the past, present, and future aligning, getting a deeper understanding of like those things in this on this level, and your intuitive level. Yeah, it says an Ajna chakra is in touch with knowledge of past, present, and future. Because yesterday I was inspired to like get prepared for tomorrow's mind mapping class from your question. Like, do you have any like description of what mind mapping is? And I was like, yeah, I got one, but that inspired me to like make a presentation of what mind mapping is because I chose to do it on Mondays because it is a very powerful technique of tapping into the past, present, and future, and really delving deep into your subconscious and allowing for those intuitive nudges and inspirations to be put on a screen for you. So I'm really excited about that, and I guess the fact that we having this conversation today, and you had that dream last night, and as I was making the presentation, a lot of stuff from the past was coming up. Like a lot of things, it was like making me see the whole purpose of us being here and how intertwined we really are. Because what you said, you was like you wanted to make this space to be able to be like duplicated and replicated, and that's when I started doing the mind mapping. When we made our infrastructure map, that's what like initiated me to start doing mind mapping sessions. Is when I made the infrastructure for the soft spot, and I was like, this is really powerful to be able to see all of these different aspects in one.
How they are like interconnected, and just keeping yourself on this kind of like accountability streak. You feel me? And then it's like once you do it, it's done. Cause it's a lot of times where you may feel like you want to go, you gotta make plans for something, but it's like it's already made. Like I remember, it's already made.
Literally putting a map. It's like literally creating a map and like writing it down, making it plain, and
yeah, it's transformation.
it's literally already within us, and bringing that from the subconscious to the conscious reality is so powerful.
Hold on, I know. I gotta say this. This is getting drippy. So look, past, present, and future, right? In this actual dream, it was artificial intelligence, the biological computer, and monsters. Now, I seen the monsters as being the present thing that we're warring against. The artificial intelligence being what we're headed towards, and the past being the biological computer, but they all simultaneously existing at once, right? And understanding their place, because even in the dream, right? In the dream, peep this shit. So while escaping the compound, I was aided by some Mexicans who dismantled the barbed wire fence that was meant to electrocute us, and we all jumped over it. After that, it was an obstacle course to freedom. I could intuitively see my dad's car miles ahead waiting on me, so I followed their path. While on it, I was swallowed by a monster. His monster friend warned him that he shouldn't have done that because I have a special power of metamorphosis, and that I was also the second coming of Moses, and this would be the realization. I end up absorbing the monster, taking its strengths, and killing off the monster's friend. After that, I transitioned back on Earth in like this original habitat or whatever, and I was basically able to maneuver with these newfound skills and strengths within this within the Earth realm. So I feel like the past of or the inception, because anytime I think of past, I think about our initiation when we logged in. So that's why I kind of like related to the biological computer. And understanding that the monsters that we may encounter on our journey are all here for our metamorphosis, right? For us to be able to use that and to join forces with what may be deemed as artificial intelligence, because it's all a manifestation of us, and to work in connection with it, and that's the past, present, and future.
Morphin' time.
Yeah, and even in these yoga practices, like the purpose is because Christ rises from within us. In a sense, like we all are that, like that divine energy is within us, so and it rises from within, not like outside of us, not over there, not even the person next to us. But as you enter into that divine consciousness, you fully realize how everything is serving, and there's no other creator other than that. Like it's all created for the benefit of that ascension. Sunday service. I get you. Oh, actually, your key is right here on the stair.
Peace.
Oh, shoes off. House free. Alright, did we finish through all the chakras?
Close that door.
Okay.
Thank you.
No,
No, we got 2 more to go.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So Bindi is the 7th chakra and is not much explored in expositions on yoga. To really understand Bindi, you first have to become established and pass through Anahata and Ajna chakras. And how many people have reached that level? This the crown chakra here.
Hold on, I need to
The
eat the
purple
rest of it.
frequency right here, y'all.
Purple frequency.
How many people you know reach this level?
Man.
Right here too.
So window sensor or door sensor, or it could be a low battery amp, either of them as well. Sometimes it's a, well yeah, that one was the door though, so that one was the door sensor.
It could be a window opening up the back door or a second door.
Yeah, she was Asia.
That,
So at one time they heard international spirits hanging out with them, mentioning the flesh sheep and stuff. And that was funny. But that's whatever. It could be the battery or it could just be different. Openings. Make it intentional.
Right.
Put some intention on it when you hear it.
Moon and Pisces, so it get tricky.
Wow.
It's definitely getting into them realms.
Okay. So we at the 7th chakra.
Okay, then. Okay.
To really understand Bindi, you have to become established and pass through Anahata and
What
Ajna
you get
chakras.
bendy for?
Bindu.
but that is where Bindu
Bindi
comes from, Bindu, because
yeah,
it
that's what I
goes
thought, so
in
that's why I was
between
kind
them.
of like
Okay. So you
So it's like,
intuition,
yeah, I was just
being intuitively led.
Yeah.
and
That's
not
what
reading,
Satan
and not reading myself. Okay, what I'm reading. Therefore, not much emphasis is given to the center in common discussions of the chakra system. Bindu is found in the back of the head, between Ajna chakra and the crown of the head. The nectar of immortality or ambrosia flows from this point and expresses all of creation. This nectar of immortality is flowing all of the time. In women, it manifests as ovum. When awakened by the male energy or sperm, it results in creation. Throughout a normal person's life, this nectar continually flows downward and is consumed at the fire center. Ooh, my Pura chakra, the solar plexus. The scriptures say that is consumed by the sun through. Ain't that what's happening on the eclipse? Consumed by the sun. Wow. Okay.
sentence again.
The giant bridges.
Throughout a normal person's life, this nectar continually flows downward and is consumed by the fire center Manipura. The scriptures say that it is consumed by the sun. Through Kichari, Mudra, and I'm not going to say this one. I'm gonna try it. Viparatakarani Mudra, that energy or nectar is recirculated within the body. Through these practice, you are able to harness that energy instead of being consumed by the sun. If people are at a certain level of their evolution, they can remain immortal in their body.
So yeah, this is the story of Jesus and Jesus being crucified on the cross at 33 years old. We have 33 birthdays in our spine, and that's the journey of becoming enlightened or activating the crystal. So being a Christian is truly saying is to have journeyed through these chakras to reach the point of what they're calling Bindu, to awaken your God consciousness. Yeah. So during times like these, the ore is traveling back down. They call it the Manipur. It's basically the sacrum, and within the sacrum lies a lot of our pleasures or desires.
Manipura is the solar plexus.
Right. Which sacrum. The sacrum. So within that space, they say not to overindulge, just like what we was talking about, not to squander your sexual essence when the moon is in your sun sign, and by doing this on a ritualistic nature, you allow the ore to come back from the place from which it came, which is the pineal gland, and you become that enlightened being. So it's pretty dope. It shows how the energy continues to go up the spine, you get that kundalini awakening and stuff like that.
So I finished the Bindu. The next is Sarah Hollis.
Sahasrara.
Sahasrara.
What'd you say, Mike?
Sahasrara.
Sahasrara. The final chakra of spiritual evolution is Sahasrara chakra, or the 1,000-petal lotus. This suggests that this chakra is infinite, not that there are exactly 1,000 petals on this chakra. This is located at the crown of the head and is the culmination of your sadhana and spiritual disciplines. When you reach this chakra, you become aware of who you really are, that your true nature is divinity itself. It is that state of samadhi, taraya, the transcendental state. And that completes our journey of the chakras.
Thank you for that. A lot of my practices are chakra based. As well as my intro into just self-discovery. And I feel like that is a way to assess not only ourselves but the state of humanity, and allow us to be more compassionate to where people are in reflection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's complete Sunday service for today. Some of the next parts of this particular study is what is Kundalini Yoga, practices to purify the chakras, Viha mantras, or Vija mantras, Om meditation, Soham meditation, and that completes that chapter 8, which is pranayama. So, thank you, fam. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
Please.
That's a good episode.